I'll talk about the mayor later. This mayor of some small Jersey town.
Yeah, he was at a bar in Bradley Beach, and cops tuned him up a little bit.
Their own mayor?
I think he's a mayor of some other town.
Like the next town over or something. Look at this guy. He's on TV with his awful
He's
hair.
just a wreck. You can see the gravel marks where the cops just had their knee at the back of his neck. That's wonderful. His hair is all in disarray.
He looks like that old senator with the really bad toupee.
Yeah.
Didn't that guy go to jail or something? He looks like that guy. But
his comb over isn't working for him.
And he was elected even though they had pictures of him nude and drunk on his front stoop.
On his front porch. But he was elected mayor, and then his sister runs some gin mill somewhere, and he was there over the weekend, and the cops were called for a disturbance. And apparently the cops were trying to control the situation, and the mayor there, because it was his sister's bar, was telling the cops, it's my sister's bar, and I'm trying to keep this guy calm that's jumping on my sister's car. So he tried calming that guy down, and the cops told him, don't get involved. We got this, in hand. And the guy wouldn't stop getting involved. When the cops tell you to back off and don't get involved, back off and don't get involved. Because it never makes the situation better.
Unless you're a recognizable mayor.
Right. Not Mayor comb over, Mayor Scabhead now. He's all banged up.
If you're the mayor of Mantown.
He's Mayor Jeremiah Heavy?
He's the mayor of Jersey City?
Healy, Anthony.
Healy?
I believe, yeah.
And where is he mayor of?
I don't know.
It's some small place.
Jersey City.
Is it Jersey City?
Jersey City.
Okay.
That's pretty big.
That's a little big.
Big city, yeah.
Well, we got the audio. We weren't going to start with this, but we have it in front of us. Here's the story.
Jersey's second largest city accuses the Bradley Beach Police Department of police brutality. He says that one minute he's doing his civic duty, the next minute he and his wife are on the ground, and he's handcuffed and maced. Jersey City Mayor Jeremiah Healy is nursing scrapes on his head, hand, and knee after he claims cops down in Bradley Beach roughed up him and his wife. Mayor Healy says he had just finished celebrating with family at his sister's bar and restaurant. He noticed a couple in the middle of a quarrel. Healy says he went to tell a cop the fight wasn't the woman's fault.
The person that he was, I would say, yelling at, I said, officer, this girl was not involved in the incident, to which they were responding.
But Healy claims the cop suddenly grabbed him by the arm, threw him to the ground, and put him in handcuffs.
He did what he did, and he's the one who shoved my wife. He's the one who decided to lock me up and shove me on the ground.
Everybody's cop story, when the cops work him over. Now, I'm sure there are just badass cops out there that, just want to kick some ass.
Yeah.
It happens. But how come every story of some innocent guy that is just trying to help is like, I just went up to the officer, I was explaining the situation, and the next thing I knew, I'm in handcuffs getting maced.
Yeah,
I've never seen that happen.
They make it sound like the officer just snapped and went crazy.
I said, excuse me, officer, can I please give you some information? He punched me in the face, and... Yes, Kenny.
Yeah, they're all choir boys after the fact.
Yeah, it's never like maybe he was a little, no, I don't know. I wasn't there. But in a lot of situations that happen like this, maybe the guy's a little drunk, maybe he's getting a little loud. The situation itself is probably loud, so you got to raise your voice. You're emotional. It's family that's involved in some way, shape, or form. So you're trying to push your power as being a mayor or a fireman or some other thing where you feel maybe you should be do a little more than just the average Joe. It's never just what they say it is, where, excuse me, sir, I really like to help. If I could maybe give you some words to let you know what's going on. It's, you put your hands on here one more time and I'm going to... And the cop's like, hey, back off. And they never back off. Until the neck the knee is in the neck, the mace is in the face.
Anthony, it's just amazing how extremely perceptive you are because you hit the nail on the head.
Thank you, Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny was on the force for many, many years.
And it ends up like this. The old taser. That's a woman getting tased.
All right, we got more audio from the story. Then they got maced.
Healy says Mrs. Healy hurt her ankle and leg, and Healy says while he was down on the ground, the cop who had put him in handcuffs asked another cop for mace, and yes, gave him a stinging spray in both eyes.
He's the one who maced me, both eyes, after I was laying down, handcuffed with two officers on my back, and that was just like a gratuitous nastiness.
Bradley Beach police say they warned Healy. In a statement, they say in part, quote, Mr. Healy was advised that if he did not cease to involve himself, he would be placed under arrest. Mr. Healy refused to move on, and as the officers proceeded, he resisted and became disorderly, end quote.
We tell all of our citizens, Jersey City, to be helpful and cooperative with the police in any way you can, and that's what I thought I was doing.
Healy was charged with disorderly conduct and resisting arrest. Both charges carry fines of up to $2,000, as well as a possible 6-month jail sentence. Healy plans to file a criminal complaint with the Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office, as well as a civil complaint against the officer.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be an interesting story.
I just can't imagine, maybe I'm being naive, but I can't imagine this guy laying there in handcuffs. And another cop going, you got some mace, because I just want to spray some mace in this guy's face.
Yeah, let's add insult to injury here.
And if there's still cops on you when you're cuffed, 90% of the time, 99% of the time, you're still somehow resisting. Just because you're cuffed doesn't mean you can't be kicking, trying to get up, trying to roll over, still being a problem to what the cops are trying to do there. That's why I never understood. Whatever they say, do it. Because if you don't, regardless if they're good cops or bad cops, if you're not listening to them at that moment, bite your friggin' tongue, shove your pride down somewhere. You feel that sting? That's pride effing with you. Don't let it get to you. Listen to them.
Because in the end, the cops are going to win.
They're going to win at least that battle right there.
In that situation, they always win.
Maybe in the long run through courts and all the bull that comes after it, maybe you'll get something out of it. But right then and there, at that moment, you don't win.
The more you
resist,
win, the worse it's going to get.
You're going to get a beating. You're going to get that knee on the back of your neck, which is just a nightmare. You do not want that. You're going to get maced.
Here comes the expert again. Yes, Kenny?
My philosophy is it's better to have a strong mind than strong fists.
That was the most profound thing I've ever heard from him.
It's unfortunate he thought of that after he retired.
One of these days, Kenny, a book. What you learn to read them, I mean. And then perhaps someday a writing would be, because I'm sure you have stories that I would just love to breeze through.
He's knocked out more teeth than cancer of the gums.
You don't leave marks.
No.
Not.
You don't leave anything behind.
All right. Let's say hi to Randy in Jersey. Randy, what's up?
How you doing today, guys?
What's up, man?
I live right down the street from that place.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And chances are he didn't do anything wrong.
Really?
Yeah, it's a teeny tiny town, square mile, and the boys on the force get a little overzealous sometimes.
Small town cops. Sometimes the small town cops
Here
get a
comes
little
the
overzealous.
expert once again.
They shot some homeless guy last year.
They shot a homeless guy last year?
Just to watch him die.
Right.
No, the shore cops, they don't play because they have 10 months of monotony to make up for. So in the 2 months of action...
Bradley Beach is not... When was the last time you heard of Bradley Beach?
Never.
Never.
See, I rest my case.
That's why. So when something happens, these guys go at it, and then they have to sit through 10 months of nothing.
Right.
We don't get a lot of tourists in Bradley. They all go to Belmar.
All right. Thanks, Randy. It's just a small town, whatever. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a developing story this morning.
I think you told him he was the mayor of Jersey City?
That probably was the first thing out of his mouth. But I'm the mayor. Ow!
You know what that's all about?
Kenny's laughing.
You know what that's all about? Every town has the mayor character.
The mayor character.
So, and it's usually the guy that's the biggest drunk
at
in
the
town.
bar all the time. That's the only mayor I know.
Remember?
Hey, it's the mayor of Comac. This buddy of mine, Steve, was like, hey, they called him the mayor of Comac.
How do you think it was going to, play out?
Yeah, that's what went through my head.
Going to just collapse and go, oh, God, you're right.
Oh, no. And, like, somebody on the message board, and I can't remember who it was, but
you're so right.
I think it might have been Norton's Hog. I don't want to give credit to the wrong person, but spelt it out perfectly. He had the whole scenario of what this guy thought was going to happen in his head. How it was going to be. He was going to be a hero, and this was going to be his in. So he was going to be able to be on Howie's show and like be a regular and call in, and this was going to be a gig, and like this whole delusion of grandeur built up in his head. And when it came down to it, to 0 hour, he failed so completely and so miserably that he looked like a fool in front of a live audience that was following us and to the radio audience.
Right.
And us.
And us, right.
And he said something I was hoping for a reaction. I started the obnoxious laugh, and then the crowd, started in with him, started laughing really hard.
Oh, he said,
in his face.
He said, you guys steal from Howard. I said, yeah, we do. We stole all his radio stations. And everyone started cracking up, and he goes, no, you did. And he tried saying something else, and the crowd just drowned him out with their laughing at him.
The obnoxious laugh.
At that point, they all did the obnoxious laugh at him.
Right.
And he apparently seemed to have lost his mind at that point.
He said something like, someone spit on me.
Yeah.
Nobody did. No one spit on you.
Yeah, there was no spittle.
Stupid.
There was no spittle placed on you, sir.
Ugh.
And when I turned around, I saw him lunge toward our producer,
Well,
Ben.
at this point, he had nothing left, and he was looking like an ass. So, he just decided, I got to, start trouble.
I got to do something.
So he went after Ben.
He went after Ben. He
grabbed him or
Ben.
pushed him or had him by the neck.
I saw
it happened so fast.
Thing.
Yeah,
and
go
I
ahead.
saw exactly how this happened. He grabbed Ben with his left hand. He grabbed him by his lapel and kind of slammed him against a wooden wall, like a temporary wall that's built at construction sites kind of a thing. And then his right hand grabbed him kind of by the front of his shirt, but I saw his arm slipping up where his wrist and forearm was going against Ben's neck. And that's all I saw, because instantly I thought, oh, my God, this guy's going to start choking Ben against the wall with his arm. He's giving him a forearm against the neck. That's where it ended. Within a split second, the guy was subdued.
Yeah, well,
The situation was remedied.
Steve and Kenny had the guy, and then Poe came out of nowhere and
tied the guy up in a submission hold.
I think it's called the Los Angeles submission. What is it called, Kenny? Kenny actually knows the name of the hold that Poe used.
That's the famous L.A. chokehold.
Oh, it's where you tie up the body. You got your bicep and forearm around his neck, but the guy wasn't being choked out. He obviously was being subdued. He was even in a submission hold. But I've seen that hold done where the guy goes out in a second.
Yeah, he was just taken out of the situation.
The guy was taken out of the situation.
He was being restrained.
Restrained. He was able to talk. He wasn't able to move. I've never seen, since Hoist Gracie in The Ultimate Fighting would tie someone up, I've never seen someone in such a position where they could not even scratch with one finger.
Here's the bottom line. Nobody knew if he had a weapon.
Yeah.
If you're stupid enough to try to throw our producer up against the wall, what do you expect? You're going to be subdued. That's what's going to... Bottom line is, I can go into his head. He didn't know that... I don't think he knew Ben was the producer.
Thought maybe it was just a listener.
He probably thought Ben was a fan, because Ben looks like one of our dumb fans. Just a guy with glasses kind of bumbling around.
Yeah.
And I think he probably thought he was going to save face by taking out some of his aggression on one of the guys in the crowd that was laughing at him. So he just picked the wrong hombre to throw against the wall.
Yeah.
And Poe subdued him. Kenny and Steve pushed him back and post-subdued him, and nobody hurt him.
Well, Steve was trying to get him into a cute little bear hug.
The whole thing with
He just
any
wanted to
kind
give
of
him a bear hug and hold him.
Poe wanted to. He could have pulled your pants down and raped you. Stupid. And Poe was logical with him. He goes, "Do you have any weapons on you?" And the guy's like,
he asked him the other question.
"No, I don't." Everybody's laughing at him and yelling at him because that's what he deserved for being a jackass.
And he was able to communicate. He was able to talk.
Of course
there
he
wasn't
was.
it wasn't like he was being choked out. There wasn't one of those things going on. The guy was able to talk because apparently I heard, although a little muffled from the concrete, I heard an apology, which was nice. It was nice of him to apologize.
And then Poe said, "I'm going to let you up. You're not going to give me a reason to put you down again." And the guy said no. So Poe let him up.
And he let him up.
That was it.
And that was it.
Nobody stomped him. Nobody jumped on him.
There
Nobody
wasn't any
touched him.
kicking.
And that was it.
Baby.
There was nothing else going on. There was no taunting or anything.
Oof.
It was no big deal.
Wow.
The show has rolled on for many, many years with many, many different players behind the scenes. Now I'm finding out Ben left already because he's paranoid what's going to happen to him on the walk. So he's just left the show.
That was ridiculous.
He's the executive producer of the show. He's already left. He's already left the fuck.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. It's so hard. It's so hard to not say a naughty.
8:40 already.
To say a naughty.
Yeah, sometimes it's
Ben figured because of what happened Friday, he wasn't going to do the walk with us today. Why?
Well, big surprise. He's paranoid. I wonder why. Boy, I wonder why.
What could make people paranoid?
Who knows?
I used to get paranoid sometime in the 80s. It's like the mid-80s. It was always after something. Can't quite remember what it was, though.
Paranoid January 31st of 87. I haven't been paranoid since.
Exactly.
It used to cost me money to get paranoid.
Exactly.
I used to do something and get paranoid.
Wait.
And then want to buy more.
Then chew my mouth and play chess and eat Entenmann cookies and drink gin and throw up.
Look out the window for police.
So this was a rumor, but now we got Club Soda Kenny. What's the deal with Ben? Really?
He's an idiot.
Really? What's the deal with
what?
Ben?
Ben went back to the XM office just to keep it on the down low for the walk.
But when did he leave?
Just a few minutes ago.
Did he send a decoy Ben out first and then go down different streets? A decoy Ben, someone with cerebral palsy and a bad wig.
A herky-jerky balloon.
Tell Ben
Parkinson's and a chicken on his head.
Tell Ben to just stay out of my way. I don't even want to see him over there. I'm not even kidding. Call ahead.
I'm sure he heard it.
Call ahead because it's ridiculous that he's worried about what's going to happen.
Call ahead. A big fat head.
He's worried about what's going to happen on the walkover. What about the rest of us?
Well,
we're all a little wondering what's going to happen on the walkover today, but we're not running away.
I don't know. He didn't want the scrutiny from the fans. I don't know what
scrutiny. Sometimes we go down there's a nice crowd. Sometimes there are 3 people. Exactly. Let's be honest here.
Hello?
What scrutiny from the crowd has been? What?
Well, everyone's saying
I have the CD of the audio. I came over to get it. I had to make sure it was it was the right CD.
So everyone's saying
the audio from Friday. I'm bringing it on.
But everyone's saying you went you went over there because you were worried about the walkover.
I got the CD. I'm coming back.
That wasn't an answer to that. That meant I was. But now I figure I'll come back.
Well, because that's the other problem. We're like, well, now we want to play the audio, and I look around and we don't even have it here.